Hey, what's up you guys, it's Connor, and today I'm going to be continuing my 2016 reading wrap-up with books 76 through 80. So, yep, just keep reading all the books. So without further ado, let's just get started. So the 76th thing that I read in 2016 is going to be Rage of Lions, which is the second book in the Wereworld series by Curtis Jobling. If you guys don't know, Curtis Jobling is the guy who created Bob the Builder. So, fun fact. If you guys don't know, the Wereworld series is a very popular middle grade series that has insane ratings on Goodreads. They are all rated so high, it is mind-blowing. But it follows a boy named Drew, and at the beginning of the first book, Drew is living with his family, and one night he turns into a monster and then is accused of killing his mother, and then he has to run away and survive, and he goes on an adventure and kind of learns more about himself and where he came from and that kind of stuff. And basically in this world, the social elite, the lords and ladies of realms and stuff, all have the ability of turning into different animals. And so Drew finds out that he is related to one of these families, and it causes a whole bunch of drama and gets him in tons of trouble. So there's just something about these books that doesn't fit with me completely. I gave the first one 3.5 stars. I ended up giving this one 3.75 stars because I think it does some things better than the first book, but it definitely has its own issues that I've found with it. He basically, the way that he writes is that he thinks of the thing that's going to gross you out or shock you the most, and then that is always what he does every single time. And so you just kind of get used to it and you start not caring. That's what happened, was that at a certain point in this book I was like, are you serious? And then I just stopped caring. I stopped caring about every single character. Everyone could die and I would not care. So I just want to be invested in my characters. I want to care about what's happening to them and I want to care about their feelings. But with this series, I just don't care at all. So I ended up giving it 3.75 stars. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with the series or not. I think that's just a stylistic thing. But then again, I wasn't a huge fan of the first two books of the Fallen Kingdom series by Morgan Rhodes, and in the third book I ended up really enjoying it. So I'm not sure. If you guys read this series, let me know down below if I should continue reading it. Does it get better? Do you think I would like it if I continued, or should I just kind of stop reading here and just be okay with how it's ended? Although it didn't really end that satisfyingly, so well, I don't know. The next book I read is the first book in the Shards Chronicles by Neal Shusterman, and that is Scorpion Shards. So this book follows 6 teenagers that start to develop powers, and their powers come with a cost, and so they're also deteriorating, but they also have these powers. And so it's kind of them coming together and trying to figure out what is happening and how to stop it and what they need to do to heal themselves. And if you guys don't know, I'm a huge Neal Shusterman fan. I have liked every single book that I've read by him, and every single book that he writes is about a moral kind of issue or a topic that you could talk about. It's definitely thought-provoking. All of his books are thought-provoking and make you think about the things that you have done in those situations or what you would do if that happened to you, those kinds of things. And some of his books just give you like just straight up messages like, this is how it should be, this is bad, that kind of stuff. This one's about personal demons and making sure that you don't let those demons and those fears control your life, because it will mutate you into something terrible. That's basically the premise of the book, and kind of making sure to always fight your demons and make sure that they never win. That's kind of the whole premise, and I really like that message. It definitely covers a bunch of different types. And I think something about Neal Shusterman is that he writes very diverse characters in terms of like ethnicities and races, and so I really like seeing the different people, the different ways of thinking, the different cultures that he puts into all of his books. And so you get all of these different cultures in this short book, and I just think that that is a huge pro for it. I ended up giving this book 4 stars because I really enjoyed the writing. I really enjoyed the story. It's not my favorite Neal Shusterman book that I've ever read. I've been finding that all of the older Neal Shusterman books, this one was published in 1995, all are kind of coming in at that 4 range, and all of his newer books are 5-star books for me. So I'm kind of expecting it to be at that level, but I still really enjoyed it, and I think it might be because I'm comparing his older books to his newer books. So I'm not sure what is going on, but I'm definitely excited to continue along with the series and see what is all going on with this magical science fiction aspect of this book. The next book I read is going to be The Kings of Clonmel, book 8 in the Ranger's Apprentice series by John Flanagan. If you guys don't know, the first book is about a boy named Will who doesn't get accepted as a knight, and so he becomes a ranger's apprentice, and rangers are kind of these mysterious beings that people kind of stay away from, but they're very powerful people in this kingdom. And so Will has to learn how to be a ranger and how to be a very good ranger, and all the books obviously are continuations of that original plot. At some point there's a huge time jump, and it's between books 4 and 5 where Will turns from just like a young teenage boy or middle teenage boy, and then he becomes an adult. So the way that I suggest that you read this series is going to be books 1 through 4, read book 7, then read 5 and 6, and then read 8, because that's chronologically how it should be, and I think that book 7 reads way better if you read it in between books 4 and 5. These books also don't have very much magic in them. They're fantasy books, and they're kind of like alternate history books, I guess. It's medieval setting, and it's all of these like European type countries, but they're set up a little bit differently, but all of the cultures are pretty much exactly the same. So it's just kind of picked up and plopped down a little bit differently, and I just really enjoy this series. I ended up giving this book 5 stars because the area that it explores is the Ireland area, and I'm Irish, so I was really excited to see that, and I just really liked every element of this book, and the pacing was really well done, the characterization was well done, and you'd think after 8 books that the characters would kind of stop growing, but they never do. They always have room to grow, and I think that's amazing. Definitely gave this one 5 stars, definitely recommend the series. The first one is called The Ruins of Gorlan. The next book that I read is going to be Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alire Sáenz. I've heard it is pronounced Sáenz. I'm not 100% on that though. This is about 2 young boys growing up that kind of discover in each other something that they've never had before. They just don't get along with a lot of the people that are around them, and the people their age, they just feel different, and so they find each other and they just have a very amazing friendship that develops further as the book goes along. If you guys don't know, this is a very popular LGBT book. I've never read an LGBT book before, like one where the predominant thing addressed is accepting yourself and accepting your sexual identity and stuff like that. And so it's just something new, something fresh that I've never read before, and it's actually made me a little bit more curious about the books that are out there that are also LGBT. So if you have any suggestions, leave those down below, because I would like to kind of dip my toe into that genre, because I did enjoy this book. I ended up giving this one 4 stars because the first 100-ish pages are so, I did not like Ari. I found him so dramatic. He was so dramatic about almost everything. And so I just found him really annoying. I didn't like reading about him. I didn't think he was like a nice person, so I didn't really like him in that respect either. And then after the first 2 sections or something like that, I think that's like the first 100 pages, it like completely changes. I'm like, oh dang, you're the best. So then I was definitely on his side, and I was rooting for him, and I was really hoping that he would find whatever he needed and kind of get through his personal problems that he was having. Dante is amazing. He was always amazing. I liked Dante from the first time we meet him, and so I really liked the 2 boys. I really liked how their friendship started and grew and grew and grew into something bigger, and I just really enjoyed it. I know people love this book, but that first 100 pages, I put the book down. I put it down and I read another book. I read The Kings of Clonmel instead, and then I went back and I was like, I need to finish this book. It's for my Around the Year in 52 Books challenge. I know Sam from Thoughts on Tomes loves it. There must be something about it because all these people are raving about it, and so I picked it back up. So I knocked it off a star just for that first 100 pages and me not enjoying reading it, but definitely the second 200 pages or 250 pages are incredible, amazing. I loved it. So if I had been on board with Ari at the very beginning, I definitely would have rated it 5 stars, but I didn't, so yep. And the 80th thing that I've read in 2016 is going to be The Fate of 10, which is book 6 in the Lorien Legacy series by Pittacus Lore, which is a pseudonym for 2 authors, although one of the authors is no longer working on the project. The other one is James Frey, which people don't like him very much, so yeah. But I'm invested in the series and I love it. I ended up giving this one 5 stars because it was incredible. The ending was like, oh my gosh. why? No. But then also like, okay. If you guys don't know, this is about a bunch of aliens who are fleeing their country as it's being attacked by a different race, and they come to Earth to hide. They are connected by a charm, and so they have to be killed in a specific order. And at the beginning of the first book, number 3 dies, and the main character of the series pretty much is number 4. So the first book is called I Am Number 4, and I have just really been enjoying it. I thought I might be over it, and then I picked this book up and I still love it. And I think in this book you get a lot of explanation about things that are going on in the world, and you've known what happened to their old planet, but you get a bigger picture, a more specific picture about the players that were involved in bringing down their planet and their race and all of those kinds of questions, as well as kind of expanding on the reason behind the Lorians being able to do the things that they're able to do. You kind of get an explanation for that, and so I really enjoyed that as well. I just thought it was so much fun. I just really enjoyed it, and I cannot wait for the 7th and final book in the series. Oh my gosh, that was really long, but I really enjoyed all of those books that I read, except for kind of the first one. Let me know down in the comments anything that I said in this video. Let me know the responses down below. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.